As a game, Dual Universe can seem very intimidating when you first load into it. Yes, this is a beta game, so therefore it might just be due to this phase of the game's development, but still, even with the in-game tutorial can leave many things for you to find by yourself. Luckily I've learned some of these things in the past week, therefore I'm going to share some tips and tricks on getting you started within Dual Universe. Hey everyone, my name is Captain Jack and welcome to my channel. I'm having a blast with the beta of Dual Universe so far, from building to exploring and even mining on distant planets. Thanks to the community member who gave me a lift into space and back. Today I really want to talk about how you can get started within the game, some neat little tips to improve your gameplay experience, and just generally a few quality of life things I would suggest so far. Ideally to give you that good starting experience so you can go forth and really enjoy the game for what it's worth. Before I do dive into today's video, if you are new around here to my channel, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video. Also, if you're playing Dual Universe right now, or thinking of picking it up, then I invite you to join my in-game organisation, Redwood Industries or RWI for short, to play alongside me and begin to build a space empire with my community. I'm looking forward to seeing some of you in game. I'm really enjoying playing some of you so far. You can find more details via my community Discord server, that's discord.gg/CaptainJack, the link's down below in the video description. Come along, say hi, even if you're not interested in joining, we'd be love to chat to you about Dual Universe and see how we can help each other out and really enjoy this game. Later this week, I'll also be making a video on the first week about Dual Universe, how it's gone down, some things I should really fix, and just generally some feedback so far. Okay, let's jump into the game. Starting off, I'm going to suggest you play the in-game starting tutorial if you haven't already. Yes, I know reading the manual aka playing the tutorial can be a little boring and slow sometimes, but trust me, you'll thank me later. The tutorial does actually offer some basic quality advice for getting started within Dual Universe, as well as giving you some basic starting supplies and some quanta, which is the in-game currency used for the marketplaces and trading. If you have any issues while playing the tutorial, as there has been some reported bugs, or you just need to restart it, press Shift plus Backspace and you'll abort the tutorial at any time. This works for the others as well. While it's not 100% recommended, you can reinitiate the tutorial by hitting a button at the starting location once again. Still speaking about tutorials, you may have heard the mention of institutes. These information institutes can be found around the starting location or the district, or at the outpost on the Sanctuary Moon, which is a safe zone moon where the main tutorial will lead you and will finish you on. The current institutes accessible to beta players at the time of making this video is mining, construction, military and piloting institutes. These will give you a great look at something you'll eventually be able to build and play within the game, as well as walk you through an in-depth tutorial on the chosen subject. While it may seem slow, these tutorials will give you some bonus items such as money and skill points if you complete them, which will help get you started in the game. I highly recommend taking the construction and mining ones, as they'll help you out in the long run. Oh, and also the military one's kind of interesting to see what type of weapons you can eventually blow each other up with. Those railguns do kind of look massive, I'm just saying. So far the community and industry buildings are both locked off at the time of making this video. It's not clear when they're unlocked just yet, but I imagine it'll be sometime soon. I'll be explaining more about community, specifically organisations, in just a minute. Both the community and industrial side of things inside of DU so far are still under heavy work, and I think the industrial side of things is going to be overhauled at a later date alongside of the community things. Going alone in Dual Universe can sound adventurous and maybe even exciting, but trust me, you're going to want to work with friends or other players to speed things up. Joining an organisation, whether it be made up of your friends or one like mine, which is RWI, can help you better experience the game. When you're inside of the game, press F3 and it'll bring up the organisation menu. Simply take a look around in the different orgs, what they offer, and if their goals sound like something you could work with. Organisations, or guilds as they would be referred to in other MMOs, are free to join by any player inside of the game, obviously with the approval of the leadership team, so make sure to follow any recruiting instructions and the organisation rules, else you might find yourself making enemies in the system quicker than you think. I'll actually be doing an in-depth video about organisations sometime in the future, as the system behind it is still a heavy work in progress as you might expect, but it's enough to get you started within the game. Let's talk about the talent system. The in-game tutorial would have briefly explained the talent menu or the skill system inside of the game. This can be accessed by pressing F2, which displays a whole host of talents that you can specialise in and spend your skill points on. You'll be able to learn skills from various fields of activity right when you start playing the game. Now the best thing is, while you can queue talents and their research while you're also offline, so if you're logging off for a few hours or just the evening in general, make sure your talents are queued as they progress while you're offline. Each basic skill inside the talent system has a skill tree. You also need to remember your accumulation rate. As the name suggests, this is a rate you will accumulate skill points to spend on other skills in the talent system. The max so far is 90 per minute. While not queuing any skills, it'll be around about 6 per minute. So as mentioned, it's always good to have something queued up and researching away. To get started, I would personally suggest looking into the mining and inventory talent, the architect tree, and also the miner tree. The architect tree will offer core unit upgrades, as well as expertise in static and dynamic cores. Core units are needed as a basic for static, space, and dynamic constructs, the things you build your house, ship, or anything else on. The miner tree is self-explanatory really, but you can take a look into that on screen now and see what I mean. Moving in game, let's talk about some quality of life things you might not have noticed. Sometimes the main game tutorial simply mentioned these, so hopefully me telling you directly will inform you better. First off, when we're actually playing around, so actually here at the RWI HQ base, as you can see, things progressed recently, yeah, and someone flowing around. What I'm about to talk to you about is what you just saw me activate there is the marker system. By pressing V, we bring up the hex grid. Also, like we can see constructs over there, so the RWI HQ and in someone's home. We see the constructs here, give speeders, the factory, the big ship, the NL Wolf up there. You see also other players as well. Now, all of this information on your screen is a little bit confusing sometimes. You don't really need all of it. So obviously, when we press V again, it disappears. But maybe you just want to see character names. Because just a minute, I can't tell who that is stood there unless I press V, at which my screen's flooded with information. What we can do, if we do Alt V, it brings up the mark management system. Now if we just guess, we're going to get rid of all of it. However, I'm going to display what I want. Now I don't want territory tiles because I don't really need that at the minute. Don't really want to see everyone's dynamic construct. I want to see static constructs myself, and I also want to see players. Now you can show markets, unclaimed constructs, or space constructs. However, for the minute, I'll display players and static constructs, as that's the two things I really want to see. Save and close. Ta-da! And now I can see, oh, where's he gone? Oh, I could press V again, haven't I? There you go, Drifter952 is over there, and also I can see the RWA HQ there. Very nice. Also, yeah, we do have a Swedish statue with a flag. Don't ask how that came about. That's Dr. Kraz for you. You can actually build that into like detail here, but hey, you know, from what you can do. Anyway, let's talk about a mining scanner. So press number 3, this brings up the mining scanner. Now as we move around, it pulsates, basically showing us where ore is. Now I think we've actually mined out this nearby area of all the ore we could possibly find. So if we perhaps head in this direction, it might bring up something more. My point is though, you have to move around to get the scanner to actually pulse. If I just stand still, apart from when it's just pointed then, it doesn't actually pulse. So we just stand here, nothing happens. I have to then move, and then it will eventually pulse again, you know, updating what's going on here. However, there's a little trick you can do. So if you're closer to an ore, I really wish I had one on my screen to show you right now. However, it looks like the area has in mind of everything. We've been busy, put it that way. You can actually manually pulse the scanner. There we go, there's one just popped up now. And it looks like we're running slightly further away from that one. It might be in this direction. Is it in this direction? Nope, we might be going away from it. We're going away from it. The point is, like, if I have to keep walking around to scan stuff, when you get closer, it's kind of even more difficult to actually find the ore. Instead, if you stand still and just do Alt, then left click, it will manually scan, which is really good. So we do it again. Ta-da! And you see it changes there. Now I can find I'm actually getting a bit closer. So if I keep heading this direction, you can see it's starting to go down. Now if I stand still and manually click, ta-da! And I can do it again. Even better. How the scan actually works there is fantastic because it furthers on what you're actually looking at. Just a neat little trick which will help you out there. Now, when we're in closer range to that ore, I'm not going to spend all the time digging it away because we'll be here for like an hour knowing what speed I mine at. You can mine faster. Mining for me is like tedious and I don't like it, but you can do it. What you can do is you bring up the advanced HUD by pressing tab, or you can do right click and do toggle handles mouse. There you go. You can click on the maximum scanning range. You can also sort by what ores you're looking at. So us, we're just looking at tier 1. I think you can find some tier 2s on Sanctuary, but these ones you're going to have to find on other planets. We can change the short range, so when I'm down below 40 meters, it helps the scanner being in short range, and you get a more of an accurate display. Just a neat little trick, and something which I think the tutorial didn't explain fully to how you can actually appreciate the mining a bit better. Again, as I spoke about institutes, if you go through them and do the mining one, this will actually teach you that a little bit better in a bit more detail, so something to keep in mind in. Okay, so when mining, if we use the mine tool, you can actually hold control and just use the scroll wheel to increase the actual mining radius. We see here, this is like our default size. If I dig, that's kind of tiny really. If I dig like this, we're going to have a very small tunnel. However, I can do, if I hold control down, I can zoom up and we can get a giant thing. Ta-da! Now I've got a giant pit to play in. So yeah, you can essentially build bigger tunnels like that or dig bigger tunnels. And you can eventually mine down quite far. Ta-da! There you go. And also you can go smaller again if you really need to. And I've got to max stuff in my inventory at the minute, so we need to drop some stuff off. But you get a point. It's kind of easy and efficient how you can do that. Don't forget, when mining, you can also use the directional detector, which I've got attached to number 4. When you're close to an ore, this thing will spike up with almost like a line graph in the middle of the screen, just below the center bit, and you'll be able to show that an ore is in that direction. You dig in that direction, you'll eventually find the ore you're looking for, or any ore for that matter. Okay, another neat little trick is hiding the HUD for screenshots. Say you want to take a good screenshot of, I don't know, let's look at NetSpace here. We can take a look at this one. Now let's say, what can we do? If we do Control F9, this hides the HUD, and therefore we can take a screenshot, or we can do like a nice little view and panoramic, around it. And so that it looks great. Also, next building here is fantastic. A lot of what you're seeing in front of me right now is the industry machines, stuff like that. You see assembly lines, 3D printers, chambers of gas, etc. all coming along very nicely there. Control F9 brings back our HUD, and there we are, we're ready to go. If you want to check out your in-game achievements, you can press F6. This brings up the achievements, and you can see what you're currently doing really well in. For me, it looks like mining, building, a little bit of piloting, no combat just yet, and it looks like industry as well. Trading, apparently, I've done some stuff in there. I might, build in the marketplace as well. Industry-wise, you can see here, I'm apparently loving fuel refinery. I've crafted a small quantity of fuel. You do that as soon as you actually get around to playing with toilet, etc. However, mining, looks like I've done quite a lot of stuff there. There's quite a lot of stuff going along here. Oops, I clicked out of that. Is it industry-wise? Let's have a look. What else have I done? No, come back here. The scroll bar at the bottom is a little bit finicky. Industry-wise, so I've done factory beginner, have at least 2 industrial units running simultaneously on one of your own constructs. Gardener, I've crafted the plant. I think that's in one of the rooms over there. And I've crafted my first container. I've also done some level 3 stuff. A honeypot, make a small quantity of any honeycomb. Very nice. And you also get Queen Bee, craft all 5 honeycombs. So you've got a lot of stuff you can do there, trading as well. It's all looking really good. So there you go. That is kind of like the achievement system. Now, one last thing before I do end off and pass you back to my commentary self. Let's talk about the RDMS system. This can be accessed pressing F7. Ta-da! This is the RDMS system. Now, I can talk about this in a bit more detail at another date. However, the idea behind this is essentially, you set your rights, etc. RDMS stands for Rights and Duty Management System. Described as a core game mechanic, it essentially manages interactions between players, organizations, and assets. The system works by assigning tags or rights to interact in different ways. The way the whole of the RWI HQ is currently controlled is through the RDMS system. Like this construct here, the RWI headquarters is currently only accessed by me, Dr. Kraz, and another friend, and that's simply because I'm building on it right now, but I don't want anybody, messing with my building, etc. Not that they would, it's more or less I'm quite OCD about building. See, I've got a confidence from going up here. So that's why it's locked to me. However, a later date, we'll adjust the RDMS system so people can come and play on this grid, etc., but we won't be able to build on it, because we don't want people like defacing the HQ or moving blocks around, so instead we'll be able to activate doors and do various things like that. You get the gist. Now, this system may appear confusing to begin with, and trust me, it kinda can be, but you will eventually get the hang of it. Do let me know in the comment section down below if you need help with a dedicated video like this, as I know it's confusing, and I'm sure explaining it a bit better would help you all out, and also I need to learn it as well. If you like that, let me know down below in the comment section. Rounding this video off, the starting process of Dual Universe is straightforward. You're going to want to follow the tutorials and get as much out of them as you can. From here on out, mining will be your first port of call after establishing your base somewhere. I highly suggest setting up on the Sanctuary Moon of Alioth, the main planet, as a safe zone moon will offer a great starting location. Don't forget you can always move at a later date, so even if you don't like where you've settled down, you can just accumulate supplies and eventually move off the planet somewhere else. Building is straightforward and simple. Placing voxels using a variety of materials to craft a simple platform will get you started. If you've been watching my live streams in the past couple of days, you'll see that I'm having the time of my life building the RWI HQ right now. What you can see on screen here is, the progress so far. Kind of interesting. It's not done just yet, but we're slowly getting there. Mining will also provide you some base income if you sell the ore you mine at the marketplaces found around the moon or on other planets. Obviously, to make more, you're going to need to sell higher tier ores, which can be found via visiting other planets, but that's for another day. Don't sell all your ores though, as you'll need some to make a start on your factory and industrial machines. To make more in-depth parts and systems inside of Dual Universe, you'll eventually be constructing machines like 3D printers, assembly lines, and refineries to get the most out of your ore and the components you'll eventually make. That's everything I have for today. I'm looking forward to making some dedicated videos on building and mining very soon, as well as making starships, space stations, and of course some very iconic designs from my channel. Stay tuned for those videos by hitting the subscribe button and telling me what you would like to see in the comment section below. Remember, you can join me and my community inside of Dual Universe by joining the Redwood Industries organization. Simply head over to my community Discord server, that's discord.gg/CaptainJack, to find out more information. I really do look forward to playing with some of you in-game very soon. For now, I've been Captain Jack, thanks for watching, and of course, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.